Learn how to define control object properties using object define property. In this example, we are going to look at how the object define property method defines custom behavior. We look at how getters run when property is accessed, how setters run when value is assigned, and how properties can act like functions. So let's go ahead and make the example. So I have a couple of steps here that we need to follow. Create object obj with counter is equals to 0. So let's start making the example. The first thing is to define an object. So I'll go ahead and make an object obj, and then I should set counter to be equals to 0. Good. This is an object. So it will work this way, not the other way around. Now that I have my object, and I can as well put it on a single line, use object.define properties to define setters and getters. So I'm going to just go ahead and make that. Define setters and getters with object.define property. So object.define property obj, comma, reset. That's another parameter. And here we can use our getter. So this is how you use getter. As you can see, this dot counter equals to 0. So now, once you have this, then you can move out of it and then call the object.define property again. This time around, you want to use it for increment. So the second argument that you are seeing here is just string. And for increment, you want to get the function. So this plus counter plus plus. There's an error here because I omitted comma. You see that? Of course not. So what will be the problem? Obj increments. Yeah, this just counter plus plus. There's not supposed to be space, and this is not needed. So I have one for increment. So let me just copy this one and use it for increment as well. So it's the same method. But this is just going to be minus minus. So decrement. Oh, no, not that please. This is 0. So now that I have all this get method, it's now time for me to have a set method as well. So I'll come down and make the method again, define property. Then inside it, I'll pass in my object. And then the second parameter, I'll pass in a string, subtract, and open curly braces for the set method function one is dot counter minus equals now can then make a way to perform operations on objects. So we need a way to play with the counter. We have the set method, and we also have three different get method, as you can see it on the screen. So let's go ahead and find a way to play with the counter. Play with the counter. So number one, I'll call the object's name and call to the set method on it. Number two, I'll call the add method. Do you have anything like add? Well, not yet inside what we have here, but we have subtract. Obj dot subtract. Let me put it as 1. What else do we have? We have the increment. Then we also have the decrement. And I can try to output this, get element by item. OPG plus counter. And on the screen, well, you are seeing -1, which is not correct because we are supposed to have 4. If you take 1 from 5, we are supposed to have 4. So that possibly means that I must have omitted maybe what do I call it? I've omitted something. And yes, I can see. So I have the subtract, but then I don't have anything for the add. So I need a method for the add as well. So and now you can see we have 4, which is the correct expected output. Now, here we don't just store values, we control how the objects behave using object define property. We define actions like reset, adds, and subtract. Some run when accessed, others when values are being assigned to them. So with getters and setters and object define property method, you can control object behavior deeply and see how properties behave like action. They are useful for control states like counter, and they make objects to become more powerful.